Article 21C of the Paris Agreement demands that global finance flows align with low-emission climate-resilient development. Article 9 requires developed countries to provide financial resources for mitigation and adaptation, with a clear balance between the two. Ghana's delegation, powered by its strengthened national roster of climate negotiators, has spent COP30 pushing relentlessly for these principles to be reflected in the final text. Dr. Samuel Doche leads Ghana's finance team at COP30.
I think once again it's an opportunity for Ghana to lead Africa in the negotiations, and I think that with the expertise that are around, Africa should just expect nothing less than a very strong negotiation team, a very powerful and coordinated leadership, a leadership that will be very transparent, a leadership that is very effective, a leadership that is very efficient in ensuring that African issues are given priority in the final discussions as we journey through these 2 weeks in Belém.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Authority, Professor Nanama Brown-Kluche, says Ghana intends to fully capitalize on the climate finance opportunities at COP30 through the launch of its national roster of negotiators.
We started COP30 in Brazil with the presidential summit, where the president nominated the ministers, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Billy Amabua, and also the Minister for Climate Change and Sustainability, here to represent the government of Ghana. So this shows the political will of the country, and together with the roster that we have launched, it puts Ghana in preparedness for the opportunities that are there. It's not only just to talk about climate change. There are financial benefits we can tap into at COP. There are technological benefits we can tap into at COP. There are other opportunities like training from Ghana to other countries that they will bring also onto us. But in all of this, we need to articulate our challenges properly and also tap into the opportunities. That's why the roster this time around, Ghana is more coordinated at COP.
Some youth negotiators at COP30 underscored the value of the national roster and urged government to expand training for young climate negotiators to safeguard Ghana's long-term influence in the negotiations.
It's great because, this is the first in Sub-Saharan Africa. So far, we are the first country in Sub-Saharan Africa to introduce the roster, even though it's part of the whole UNFCCC process that every country should have a roster of climate negotiators. But then when it comes to Africa, this is one. So, a lot of countries are coming to us asking about how are we doing it, how is it structured, and it's very exciting that, we've taken the lead as a country.
Well, my call to action to the government of Ghana is that you need to be strategic in how you build capacity and technical expertise for the Africa group of negotiators, and particularly the senior experts in the country. We need to transition knowledge properly, and we have to do that consciously by having a program that supports young people to be trained in between the COPs before the COP actually happen.
Well, indeed, Ghana's establishment of the national roster of experts on climate negotiations is said to have really had a lot of impact on the delegation's work here at COP30. And the government has been urged to boost the capacity of experts on climate issues to ensure that Ghana's voice as this global conversation tables actually inure to the benefit of the ordinary person in Ghana. Reporting from COP30 here in Belém in Brazil, my name is Carlos Scaloni for JoyNews.